Wrapping up, there's a few things that I may have skipped over and at least one mistake that I made. Before you create your PDFs, make sure that your images are linked. Go to my links menu. I have a ZOAX logo on page 5 that's 2-color. I have a JPEG of the Hancock building on card 6 or page 6, and I have the ZOAX logo. I have no warning messages. I don't have the little triangle with the exclamation point that the image was updated since the document was last opened. I don't have the red circle with a question mark in it indicating that it does not know where that image is. And the best way to avoid those is to have everything in one place, in one folder, so that if you move this to a different computer, you're taking the whole folder that has everything you need for the project. One way to do that is another little thing that I probably should show you, and that is under File at the bottom, there's a print booklet which will paginate documents for saddle stitch document in signatures. We won't be doing that here, but we will be using package. Control Alt Shift P, package, or just click this package. What do you want to package? You want to include all the fonts that were used so that if you have to move this to another computer, you have the fonts that you need to do the project. Links and images, are all the links there? Colors and inks, yes, we're using these 4 colors, 4-color process plus that Pantone color. Print settings we don't have to worry about. External plugins we don't have any. Package. I'm going to package this in my DL7 folder, my last name DL7, as my last name DL7A. I don't call them folder. I don't like to see a folder that's named folder. You know, it's like a folder. So I put PKG on the end of these things in all caps so that when I see a file that says PKG, I know that that was a packaged file that includes everything that is needed for the project. And I'll hit package. Maybe some restrictions on fonts, not a problem. These are my fonts, so I can do this with my fonts. Then let's see where that is. It should be right here. And here it is, my last name DL7A PKG. And there's the PDF file. And I have my package set up to include an IDML file. An IDML file is InDesign markup language, and that's a file, it's a very compact file, but it will reconstruct the entire file for you in an earlier version of InDesign. If you do this in the current version and you have to go someplace where they're using a version from last year or 2 years ago or 3 years ago or 5 years ago, you can open up an IDML file in those earlier versions and it will reconstruct everything that's supposed to be in that file. So as you can see, the INDD file is a lot larger. And it created a PDF. And it created that PDF to whatever PDF setting I last had, which happens to be the one that includes marks and bleeds and is the commercial print standard. So there's my file. If I have to go someplace else with this, I can just put this folder on a flash drive or email it or upload it to a cloud server, and I can move it to another system. Similarly, on 7B and 7C, I'm going to drag these in here. Before you make the PDF, make sure that you see that all these links are active. If the links are not active, then when you make the PDF, you're not going to get a 4-color process logo or a 4-color process image. You're going to get a 4-color process conversion of the RGB header file, which is the low resolution image that you see in the document here. And you'll not have something suitable for commercial printing. You will also not have a logo suitable for checking to see if in this one it's 4-color process and if in this one it's spot color. It'll convert it to a 4-color separation based on the RGB header file, the low resolution blob. So it's important that we make sure that we have active links with no warning symbols if we want it to look like this in the PDF and not like that. While I have this open, I want to call your attention to something you may have noticed. I made a mistake on my top and bottom trim marks. Let me go to my pages, go to my master page. The ones on the side, the color is registration color. The one at the top is black. So I should have made that registration color. And the one at the bottom, not only is it black because I copied it from the top, but I didn't correctly place that, so it's actually inside the page, inside the trim area. It should have been down here. So I'll save that, go back to page 1. I need a fresh PDF of that is correct on the marks, so I could package this. Again, I don't like to see a folder named folder. I like to be able to identify these as packages. Package that one. Here it is, and here's my corrected PDF. If I go to Output Preview, all of my logos are spot color, and they are vector images. They're not a fuzzy pixelated blob from a low-res header. I believe this is in the instruction sheet. You're actually supposed to set up a template for this. So I'm going to delete all of these, and now everything is just the stuff that is on the master page. And Command-Shift-S, save as an InDesign template. And I'll change the name of this to, I would call it something like 10up BC chop cut or no bleeds or something like that. And that's the template. And then I'm going to close that, find my template, open this with InDesign, and you can see here's everything I need to do another 10up business setup. If you find yourself in a position where you have to do a lot of these, there's no sense setting up that same master page over and over again. You can just create a template for 10up business cards, and you can crank out different 10up business card layouts every day. I do some things where I have to create a multiple page booklet that's of a specific plan. For example, one's a pocket folder or a presentation folder used in marketing, and it has an 8-page signature or an 8-page booklet stitched into it. So it's a 12-page document with the inside and outside covers and the 8 pages. I have a template set up for that. If I have to design one of those, I pop open the template and start designing. You'll notice that this opened up as Untitled 1. So it opens up as an untitled document, and then you can start putting your stuff into it. Go back to here, Command-C copy, Command-V paste. Put this up here. I didn't do my rectangle trick, so I'm going to have to go back and see this is 1.4007x. So this has to be 1.4007x. And then step and repeat and fill it out and save it as another document. But the template document never changes. Once you create a template document, it stays what it is until you delete it or change it. And if I open that again with InDesign, I have the same document, the same template setup without changing that template. So you might like to do that for each year's. You don't have to turn those in. I have plenty of templates. I don't need your templates, but if you want to do that for your bleed document, you can delete everything off of page 1. Everything else is on the master page. Save as InDesign template, and that would be an 8-up business card with bleeds. I'm going to open my 7C again. So I don't believe I packaged that one. I did not. Here you'll notice copy fonts, copy linked graphics, update graphic links in the package. This stuff doesn't matter. Over here, include IDML, include PDF, and the print preset it's not one of the presets, it's the modified one that includes marks and bleeds. You can save that setup when you're saving something in Acrobat and have your own preferred presets. I'll package this. And I see I forgot to change the name of that, so let me change that to PKG. Okay, I'm going to close these. Actually, I'll open that one more time. Just drag it in and drop it in here. Notice that when I open an InDesign document, it creates this thing with a little tilde in front of it, InDesign lock file, IDLK file. The IDLK is a temporary file created by InDesign that does sort of a running backup of whatever you're doing, just in case you have a power failure or the system crashes or the software crashes. it can rebuild where you were from the IDLK file. But once you close it, the IDLK file disappears. If a system crashed, it'd still be there, and it would open. When you reopen the software, it would rebuild your file to the last point you were generally. I don't need the template files. I need the PDFs, and I'm just going to open this in another window and pull the PDFs out of there. For Project 7A, you should have zipped these two together, the 7A InDesign file and the 7A PDF. For B, I want the B file, the B InDesign file, the B PDF, the C InDesign file, and the C PDF, and send those to a compressed file. Your last name, DL7BC zip, and submit only this zip file. Don't submit the packages. I don't need your links. I've got this photo about 1,000 times, I think. And I don't need your document fonts because I'll have either those Helveticas or something close enough that I can check, and that's all I need. I don't need any of those, just the InDesign file and the PDF. And the only other thing I wanted to remind you of is on 7C, the 8-up with bleeds, make sure that when you change the sales representatives' names, they're all sales representatives, but each one has their own email. So I would change sales representative once before you step it, and then change the name on each card and the email on each card to the names that are on the instruction sheet. And that's it.